dueña de mi corazón, la que todo lo cambió. Una flor en el desierto y como lluvia bajo el sol. Dueña de mi corazón, contigo todo es mejor. Me calmas las tormentas con la magia de tu amor. Oh. Quiero protegerte, ser tu escudo. Quiero regalarte las estrellas. Quiero hacerte feliz, te lo juro. Quiero amanecer junto a ti hasta que yo me muera. Contigo todo es más divertido. Se van las horas sin darme cuenta. Eres como el aire que respiro. Dueña de mi corazón, la que todo lo cambió. Una flor en el desierto y como lluvia bajo el sol. Dueña de mi corazón, contigo todo es mejor. Me calmas las tormentas con la magia de tu amor. Oh.
Uh, I have been streaming on Facebook since February. I streamed on Twitch for about a year and a half. I am a banker by day, gamer by night, moonlighting as a streamer. And I work full time, yeah. 40-hour. I do about 80 plus hours a week between the two. And a mama too. Those two kids. Two
That's a
teenagers.
good number. That's a good number.
12 and 14.
Yeah, so Patrick, aka White Queso, because I'm really good and I'm white. So I've been in automotive my whole life. Just recently I got out, going through a divorce and all that stuff. So a lot of stuff going on. Same thing. Got two kids, working about 40 hours a week, streaming probably another 20 or 30 hours a week, depending on the day. Yeah, two kids running around right now. So she's giving me the side eye.
All right, this is my bread and butter. You know how many times I've been asked this question in my Marine Corps career? At least 100. All right, my name's Blaine Ranchford. I'm in the Marine Corps. I do solder tech, 2M technician, work with your circuit cards, and fix the cables that go in jets pretty much. A little basic rundown of what I do. And then once I get off with that, I stream for about 4 to 5 hours every night. Mainly Call of Duty or whatever Battle Royale is up. I streamed previously on Twitch for about 5 to 6 months, but that was when I was in Japan and transitioned back to the States. I kind of stopped with the Twitch thing because it really didn't work out. I saw that Facebook gaming was a thing now, and I said, hey, let's take it and run with it pretty much. I'm married. My wife lives in Texas. She's also in the Marine Corps. And I got no kids yet, but I'm hoping in the near future I'm gonna have some little Blaines running around. Yeah. W.
Thank you for the service.
it's pretty big. So like, I have to base everything around their lives because when I have them, I can't play games and like stream and do all that stuff. They're just too much hassle. Like not hassle, but like I need to pay attention to them. They're my kids, and so I base all my stuff around them. When I have them, I'm not streaming. When I don't have them, I'm streaming as much as I can. And then I've even tried to incorporate it around like when they're sleeping. I'll do content creation and make videos and do that kind of stuff. But it's a huge factor into how much I can stream and like what I can do and when I can do it.
And apparently I was muted for a second there. Not muted, but my mic was unplugged for some reason. So, all right. The question was that White just asked, or that we just asked White a second ago, was how hard is it to create content with children? You know, a lot of us are have children. You know, 3 of us do. And crap, I didn't even do an introduction on myself. I apologize. Of course, I'm Mr.FunkyMonkey. Everybody, a lot of y'all know me. I do work 2 jobs and create content / stream at night. So technically, considering three jobs, it's over 100+ hours a week. You know, and it's definitely it's hard. I've got 4 kids. 1 of them by blood, 3 of them by not, but I consider all 4 of them mine, of course. So it is definitely a struggle. Let's go over to Crazy Girl. What are your difficulties? What do you find most difficult working, creating content, and also having children, and a full-time job?
Just trying to give them like Queso said, the attention. It's a lot of a sacrifice of, when or how much time you can dedicate to streaming versus taking care of them, showing them the love. And sometimes they feel like I don't give them enough time, but yeah, I mean, it's all all to benefit them at the end, so
Agreed.
they hopefully will understand.
So earlier we had a question, or we had a person in here that's in the military. Again, I know I was muted earlier, so I'm gonna say it again. Thank you for your service, Young. Young, what do you find the most difficult while being in the military and creating content? What kind of impact does it have on your life?
So I'm gonna look at it from this standpoint. Okay, so before the Marine Corps, I used to, play games because they were fun and all that.
Hey Taylor. Hey Mom. Thank you, Mom, for that.
Buddies,
what's up, Chris?
have fun, have a great time, and just go off. And I was really good at video games. I joined the Marine Corps. Now it's more or less of I play video games to get away from work life, because work life in the Marine Corps is it's so stressful. And like being like a new one in the Marine Corps, it's like you're just the worker, you're just the busy bee, which it wasn't bad then, but once you start like picking up rank and the top dogs in your shop leave, then you got to take in everything. You're doing all that administration and all of that, and it got a little hectic here for a little bit, and so it's really stressful. So me coming home to like playing video games and streaming, it's like my getaway. It's like something I want to do, and hopefully it takes off. But if not, I have the Marine Corps to keep me
Thanks,
going.
Mom, for answering that. So, okay, so you've only been on Facebook?
I streamed on Twitch for like a few months, but I wasn't like, I've only done Facebook like full time, like putting all the effort into what I'm doing. Twitch was kind of like, hey, I'm going live, check it out.
So
whatever.
So what? All right. So this question will be directed towards you, and then we're gonna move on to another one as well. What was your difference from? What made you make the switch to Facebook gaming from Twitch?
So a lot of it was the organic reach that Facebook has for me. Twitch doesn't have a lot. Like if you're streaming, you're starting off. If you're streaming and you're starting off, you're going to be at the very bottom of the list. If you get 1 or 2 viewers, you're going to be in the middle, and you're like never going to be found. So you either have to be brand new and get lucky and have someone raid you, or just people will slowly find you, and it's kind of like take years. I have friends that have been streaming on Twitch for 2 or 3 years. They're not even partnered yet, but they have like hey, that's not you. But they're not even partnered yet. They have a ton of followers. They just can't get the viewership up to where it needs to be, and that's probably the hardest thing on Twitch. On Facebook, you can post it on your wall. You can share with your friends. You can share into groups. You could do advertising and run ads for your page. Like, there's so much stuff you could do to get more viewers and get people to your page. It's unrivaled in that aspect.
So here's a question that I know I've asked myself in the past. I've done it. I think all of us have done it. Maybe young. I don't know. You're a little bit newer, but how has the ads impacted your page? That is going to be one of the questions. Those are one of the biggest questions that I think a lot of people have. Should I run this $20 ad? Should I run this $10 ad? Because I think we all get it to where it's, hey, you know, this post has reached 80% more than previous posts. You know, boost this post. I mean, I know we all get it. Has it impacted? Has it helped you, Queso?
So, doing it the way, and this is the other thing why I do Facebook, is I have a background in marketing and advertising on Facebook, outside of just using, like, when it says boost this post. Like, the way I do it is, and this is a lot of stuff you can do inside Facebook, like Ads Manager and stuff. You can go in and you can create an audience of people that viewed your post or viewed your content or anything within the last 60, 90 days. I think go all the way up to 120 days. And then you can make a lookalike audience that bases all of their attributes, age, everything, age, gender, political views, like literally everything that bases off of the people who viewed your content. You can make a lookalike audience that's like 1 million, 2 million people big, and then advertise your stuff towards those people. But if you're just running like a video, it's not going to make a lot of sense. So a lot of times I'll run a video towards them, and then I'll run another ad that's basically a retargeting ad. So after they see your first ad or see your content, they'll see another one, so they can see more content and come back to your streams later on. Once I started doing that, I started noticing more people coming back to the streams. But if you just boost a post, it's just going to be it's just going to look like.
Give me just a
your
second,
post
Taylor, and I'll get to that question. Give me 1 second. I know I was Chad was asking the question. Crazy White,
Gotcha.
Same question to you. Twitch. What made you bring the switch over from Twitch to Facebook gaming?
The non-progression. After a year and a half, I had, you know, maybe 1 or 2 people in stream and less than 1,000 followers. I still hadn't even made it to that 1,000 to get the creator codes or whatever, to even help to succeed in that platform. I learned about Facebook gaming through my boyfriend and started watching content on there, and I saw how much more, like Queso was saying, how much more you could reach using that platform. So I decided to make that full switch this February, and I'm so grateful for how far I've come in such a short time.
And Young, you've been solely on Facebook or no?
I've done Twitch in the past, but pretty much took off on Facebook gaming.
Yeah, he said Twitch when he was in Japan.
Yeah, but true. So
you're twitching in Japan's weird.
So same question. What made you make the switch?
So, Twitch is very saturated. You're either you're the Tim the Tap Man of Twitch, or you're just somebody attempting to make it, trying to get that little piece of luck. But if you don't have an in with somebody in Twitch, say like Biffle, Nick Merckx, Swag, and Biffle, 2 big streamers, and then you got Biffle, who's just streaming because of tournaments. They collabed with Biffle, and they won a $100,000 Warzone tournament. And now Biffle, instead of getting like 10 views, now Biffle's getting like 2,000 to 3,000 views.
Jesus.
And he's like, now he's there. So if you really don't have an in with somebody on Twitch, it's like really not going to work out. Like, but yeah, with Facebook, like everybody else is saying, you can take your post, boom, share it. Your friends can share it. You can put it in groups, and with the ad thing too. So I ran 2 ads. One of them not so successful, trial and error.
I think we all have that.
So Yeah, so I ran my first ad, right? I spent maybe, I think around like, yeah, like $15. I got 9 page likes and it went to 1,000 people. I looked at the parameters that I put this stuff at and I was like, let me change it up a little bit. So I selected, instead of just United States, I put it all across the globe. I put in the detailed description of what people like. I put a lot like PC, gamer, Warzone, Battle Royale, Fortnite, stuff like that. Put in the description, and in the past week alone, I've gotten like a thousand new like page likes and followers. So I think I figured it out.
Very nice, very
So
nice.
yeah.
All right, so here's a question from chat, and I know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it to I'm gonna go to you, Crazy, last because I know what you're gonna say. Um, Thoughts on playing with followers or just with other streamers? Playing to have fun? Question mark, or playing to get seen? Queso.
Me or crazy? Are you gonna go to crazy last? You said.
I'm gonna go Crazy last because I know the answer.
Oh, got it. So uh, it depends on your audience, really. Like, if you want to have an audience where all you do is do follower games and viewer games, you could be really successful. Like, I've seen one of the big streamers on Facebook. Her name is Chronicle. She plays mainly Warzone, always doing follower games. Like, if you're following her, just add her and she'll get you into a game like 1 or 2 games later. It's cool. It gets viewership up. But you're never going to be consistently like competitive. So if you're playing to have like really good content, really good entertaining games that you can make content with later, probably not a good idea. But if you're trying to connect with your community and grow them, make sure they come back continuously, I don't see why it's a bad. I don't see why it's a bad thing.
So I know. I've seen you run open lobbies, Queso. I have not seen you run open lobby, Young. Why don't you do it as much? What's your reasoning?
So like playing with like followers and viewers, yeah.
Yes.
So my reasoning is that I did it. I've done it previously where I would run not so much like followers, but more like I would just do like your random duos, random trios to kind of like build a fan base. But I don't do it more for the fact of me and my boys are always on, and like no one's really asked me to like play with me except for like one guy last night, but I know him in real life as well, so I would obviously play with him. But yeah, I mean, if somebody asked to play, then I would probably play with them. But I don't. I mean, yeah, it's fun to engage with the community, but I'm more on a competitive side, I guess you'd say. I love competition and all that, and the only way if I would play like with my followers, if we're playing like a non really competitive game, like when you got like Fall Guys, Minecraft, just like your little like
Whoa, highly
mess around.
competitive.
Okay, Fall Guys is pretty competitive, but I can mess around with anybody on Fall Guys and have a blast and still do good. But yeah, I'm very competitive, and say somebody comes in that's not so great, I might get a little upset at their gameplay because I'm a tell it how it is kind of guy.
Me.
Okay, we have those days. I'm saying somebody with like that 0.8, 0.7. You know what I'm saying? That says,
The guppy.
That says the guppy that says there. Oh no, I can hold my own, and they just
So
don't.
I know I'm itching to ask a question, or I'm not necessarily saying itching, but I know. Crazy girl, your success has been amazing. You have gone from the bottom of the totem pole, like a lot of us have been, at 1, 2, 3, 10 viewers, to 40, 50, capping what? I think what was 70 viewers, 80, 100, 200.
101 is my highest, but I usually go like I usually cap out between 40 and 60.
Okay.
And I
40 and 60 viewers. So do you think? I know you consistently run open lobbies. Do you think that has an impact on that?
No, I mean it could, but I think the reach is what is bringing the views in. So the views always come after a big share. So I myself or um my man or my one of my mods will share in 30, 40 groups, and that's when those people start to come in. But I organically with the follows, I have been able to establish at least a good 20 people that continuously come in every single night. And most of them are the people that I play with, the people that I do follower games with. So it does make an impact. It seems to me.
So recently you have switched, and I could be off base on this, but recently, yourself and myself have teamed up, and we've started playing competitively. We've played with White, we've played with Young, we've played with quite a few other streamers as well. How do you feel that's impacted your community?
I don't feel like it has impacted it at all because a lot of my followers are rooting for us to succeed. So they understand, and whenever we get a chance, I bring them in. I try to do follower games before we do competitions, and then after things like that. But yeah, they're rooting for me to succeed just as much as you guys are. I am. So.
It's all a joint effort. It's all together. One of the biggest hurdles, and I want to get y'all's feedback from this. Um, a lot of the quote unquote bigger streamers, and I'm only going back. I'm thinking about Facebook streamers here at the moment, not Twitch. But a lot of them refuse to play with lower KD people, lower viewership people, lower follower people. What are your feelings? Well, if and when y'all make it to that level, how do y'all feel about that? Let's go with Crazy again.
I mean, KD doesn't mean anything to me. It's about the person or the building the community. I'll play with anybody, and sometimes does get frustrating, and sometimes I do lose it. But it's at the end of the day, it's about building the community and bringing that community into your games and being a part of them.
Young.
Did you re-ask the question?
So, referring back only to Facebook streaming, not Twitch, a lot of the bigger streamers refuse to play with either lower KD people, or lower viewership people, or lower followership people. And I'm not saying every single one of them, but a lot of them do. When and if you make it to that point to where you get your, let's say, 100,000 followers, and you're consistently got 800,000 people with you, would you stand on that same platform, or what is your thoughts to that, or what is your feelings towards that?
Um, so, like right now, you play with like the people that are readily available, I guess you'd say. And whatever their KD might be, whether it's low or high, you play on the lower end of the side. It really doesn't matter to me. I'll play with somebody with 3.0 KD, or I'll play with somebody with a point 0.6 to get easier lobbies. Just see what we can put up if we're doing a tournament or something. But if I were to transition from now to being one of the top dogs in the Facebook gaming community, I'm gonna want to play with people that are more at my caliber. And with that reasoning being is, now since you're up there with the top dogs, right? Now other top dogs are gonna notice you and be like, "Oh, hey," and they're gonna reach out, or you're gonna reach out, and be like, "Hey, can we do a stream collab and all that?" And they're probably not gonna want to play with like with one of your boys that's like down there on the KD scale.
I want to iterate to that. I recently myself played with another bigger streamer, and it was other streamers as well. It was a streamers only. What's the word I'm looking for? Collaboration, to a sense. And from never playing with them before, including that bigger streamer, it was definitely a punch in the face. You know, it was a reality check. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those people. I was one of those people that wanted to play with picnic basket gaming, with aimbot, with Stone Mountain, with with all the big guys. You know, and at the end of the day, after playing with this other bigger streamer, it opened my eyes to where I'm comfortable playing with Crazy Girl, Casel, White, Johnny Blaze Gaming, and everybody else that I play with, because our play styles are extremely similar to ourselves, and we have fun doing what we do. It's not, yeah. There's time to be serious. There's times to take it competitively, as in such the tournaments that we run in almost every week now. Thank you, Crazy. But it's definitely it's a rude awakening, and I think on a bigger streamer standpoint, it'll take time for that person to realize that. Going off top for just 2 seconds, chat's talking about your G Fuel. They saying that you wake up to G Fuel. Is this true?
Yeah. If I'm tired, I'll take a swig of G Fuel.
Fuck that.
It's like an energy drink. I just take it.
Coffee for me.
Mom, that is absolutely incorrect. You're always welcome to play with myself, Crazy Queso, or Young. You know that. 0.46 KD means absolutely nothing. That is nothing but a number, and you are absolutely amazing. So shut the front door.
Oh, yeah.
She's the best
Yeah.
.46 out there. What you mean?
The same thing goes for Texas Made Mama. Texas Made Mama, I love you to death, and you know that. Question for Queso. What is... You of course, all of us have full-time jobs, quote-unquote, correct?
Yeah.
What do you think is your most difficult between your full-time jobs, or between your full-time job and what is your biggest hurdle, should I say?
So for me, it got a lot easier. So before I was working for Tesla, and like I was literally working 12 to 15 hours a day, 6 days a week. Like it was fucking insane. So I didn't have time to do anything. I would get home. Like there's a section of my life from 2012 to like 2016, 17, where I just didn't do anything. I went to work. That was it. I didn't have time to stream, play video games, nothing. Now, because of everything I'm going through, I got a new job, like a whole bunch of stuff went down. My schedule cleared up a lot, but still the hardest part is holding yourself accountable, getting home, doing what needs to be done, like starting your stream on time, making sure you eat food, like so many things you have to think about to like plan out that you wouldn't normally think you have to plan out to be like on time to go home and do something after hours. Like you normally plan to work on time. You don't plan to do shit after work on any kind of schedule. So that's the hardest thing, is making a schedule for yourself, sticking to it, and then just kind of holding yourself accountable. Like if you're not going to stick to your schedule, you're going to lose on so many things that you have opportunities for, making content, getting your community there on time, streaming for 4 or 5 hours. If you're late by an hour, you cut that short. Like there's so many different things you have to think about. So that's probably one of the hardest things, if I had to put it to words.
Would you want to care to elaborate, Crazy?
I just think consistency is key. If you're consistent with your streams and your schedule, then people are going to expect you and wait for you.
So in a case, going to that question of consistency, in a case like myself, I have, my hours are, and excuse my language, chat, and I'm sorry, but they're fucking crazy. And everybody knows it. I work night shifts here, I work night shifts there, I work mid shift, day shift. What would you recommend for a streamer like myself that cannot keep consistency?
Well, I mean, I've seen streamers that have split shifts where they do morning and then an afternoon, and where they keep it consistent, where they're consistently, continuing with the same pattern. So, I mean, are your hours so off the wall where you don't know what you're gonna do from one day to the next, or 1 week to the next?
Well, I mean, I know I set my schedule. It took me a while to figure that out. I'm just saying, what would you recommend for a person that says that would say, well, I cannot keep a consistent schedule. My work schedule is blah. What would you recommend for that new streamer that doesn't think
Keeping their
consistency is key?
community informed. As long as you're informing your community, next week this is going to be our schedule. the next couple days, this is going to be our schedule. Then they can reach their community by posting on their page and continuing to inform them of, what's going to be next. And that would help also to have them ready for their streams. So as long as you are talking to your community and keeping them part of, your schedule in your life, then, a lot of them will stick with you no matter what your schedule is. They'll stay up late to watch you. They'll get up early to watch you. They'll make time for you as long as you're letting them know when you'll be available.
Posting a few hours before going live also helps. I agree with Mama makes a good point. She says make a post a few hours before going live also helps. I can agree with that 1,000%. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So I've done that. I've done the stories. I've made the posts. It helps, but I don't feel like it helps enough. I don't feel like it's bringing any more people
What's up,
in
Prime?
that would come in if I didn't make the post. So I don't know, but it does help to keep them informed so that they know that you're going to be on in 15 minutes or an hour or 2 hours.
So we got a comment in there. Main thing I hate about 90% of streamers is if they have a certain amount of followers, they feel like I'm too big to play with small streamers /followers/viewers. Makes them seem egotistical clout chasers. Some toxic people understand it, but humble ones out there working our asses off are getting left behind. Yeah, that basically goes back to the topic we were just talking about. The biggest thing, and that's why I asked the question that I asked. Granted, and I know Prime's in here, so I'll go ahead and say it. When I played with Primetime a couple weeks ago, I had that mindset of fuck, I want to play with Picnic, I want to play with Prime, I want to play with Aimbot, but I didn't think I thought my gameplay was up there. I thought I would mesh very well with them, but everybody has their own circle, and it took that for me to realize the family that we have, that G.S.C. to a sense has brought to myself is, excuse my language, fucking amazing. I love collabing with Crazy Girl. I love collabing with White Queso. I have some of the funniest fucking streams I ever had with Queso. I mean, it's just the stupid shit that we do. I have some of the highest kill games that I've had with Young King, because we both push each other to our max. It's some of those things that it's like, stop looking as a content creator or as a streamer. Stop looking to play with the bigger guys, but start looking to build your own community. If you build your own community with the people and with people that you enjoy playing with, not saying that you wouldn't enjoy playing with a bigger streamer, but if you start building your own person. I mean, how do you think Picnic? How do you think Primetime? How do you think Nick Merckx? How do you think Aimbot? How do you think everybody? Stone Mountain. The creator of Facebook Gaming. How do you think they grew to be who they are, and everybody wants to play with them? Success is not made overnight. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but success is not made overnight. It takes time to build that. It takes time to emphasize in that. So, Taylor, to go to that, don't be. I will always play with followers. I will always play with other streamers. I will always play with content creators. And never have a closed lobby unless I'm in a tournament. That's usually the only time that I'll close my lobbies when I'm in a tournament style like we were yesterday with Crazy. My lobby was closed. But 90% of the time, my lobbies are open. I'll play with anybody and everybody. I've got a person, and I know, Crazy has introduced me to Mombot. Mombot is posted in here. She's got a .46 KD. I've got a person that I'm working on playing with him and trying to teach him. He's got a .43 KD. It's nothing but a learning experience. We all started somewhere. I was doo-doo at the game less than a year ago. I mean, I think I was like a .7, .8 KD, and I've just now brought it up to like a 1.63, 64. I'm coming for you, Crazy, by the way. But, yeah, you heard that.
We're still the same, right?
All right, hold on. So, Prime goes wrong there. There are groups or cliques. People don't just ignore smaller streamers because they're too big. We just have our boys that we run with daily. Also, when you make it to that bigger status, it's 100 plus streamers who want to run with you. Remember, we're content creators, so I try to play with my boys and or people with similar skill set, so my content's up to par. That's exactly right. But that's exactly right. That's what I was just saying. You know, I enjoyed playing with you. Don't get me wrong, but it opened my eyes to that. It opened my eyes to, you know, it's not so much of fuck. I want to play with this bigger guy. I'd rather bring the best content and enjoy myself playing with the people that I played with that I'm used to. You know, maybe you know it's different. I mean, I know you got frustrated that day because everything was different, and you know not everybody ran the same way. You know, yourself and myself push the same, you know, or play the same. It's push, push, push. Let's get as many kills as we want. I'm not gonna sit in this same hole. Young King is the same way. Crazy, we're the same way. Queso, you're the guy who sits back and snipes. I mean, your playstyle is different than mine, but we mesh well together. And that's what I'm getting at. I don't feel like there's a need anymore for myself to want to reach out to the bigger streamers. I want to build my community. Now at the end of the day, if that bigger streamer says, "Hey, let's collab, let's play together," I'm not gonna say no. I mean, I'd be stupid to fucking say no. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this is so true. Not to sound selfish, but what about us here that want those funny ass moments and pushing to the limits, playing with streamers? I would love to have a great time laughing my ass off, but I'd also like to have times where I'm being pushed to my limit. Okay, so Taylor, so Texas, how many times have you played with us with, you know, when I first started streaming, and I've pushed you, you know, trying to make you the better person, trying to make you the better player. You're either a skill set streamer or a content creator. Meaningful is either serious or we're out here just to fuck around and have fun. And try to help them build play. Go ahead.
You kind of have to think about it like, when you start streaming, what are you set out to do? Like, what's your goal for that stream? Are you going to fuck around the whole stream? Are you just going to have fun? Are you going to be competitive? Like, there's streams now where even Stone Mountain will go in, he'll just do random duos just for the fun. He knows he's probably not going to win, but he's trying to create content. Like, that's what he's going for, is his fucking house is falling apart, guys. What the hell?
I mean, you're on the West Coast with all those fucking earthquakes. Same thing with you.
Right, that's probably what's going on. But like, he's going in with the mindset of like, okay, today I'm gonna do a random duo so I can get a video that I can upload to YouTube, and that's all I'm gonna do today. Or the next day, he said like, cool, I'm gonna queue up with Aculite. We're gonna do some $50,000 tournaments or something crazy. Like, that's his mindset, and that's what he's streaming for. So if you're streaming and you don't have an idea of like what you're aiming for, what you're trying to do for the day, it's always gonna feel like, well, what about me? What about us? What, like, I'm putting in all the hours, but you can put in all the hours in the world, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to make any sense.
So talking about putting in all the hours, okay? So this is one of the biggest number one questions on YouTube, on Google, on everything right now, and I'll ask this and answer it last myself. Let's ask Young this question first. I know a lot of us have streamed to the 1 viewer or 0 viewer streams. How do you keep yourself motivated and still create good content to where you get to the point of your 3, 4, 5 viewers and your 1,000 plus or 100 plus comments in your stream? Because I know we all look at it. So how do you keep yourself motivated?
So obviously most of us are running either more than one monitor, or that we have a chat pulled up on our phone or our stream deck or something where you can visually see how many viewers you got, who's commenting, and all that, right? You're constantly like looking on that. Unless it's tournament time, then I'm strictly here. I'll tell chat, hey, I'm not talking to you right now. Focused, okay? Yeah, I'll look over and I'll be like, oh, I'll literally say in the middle, I'll be like, oh, hey, to my 0 viewers out there, that was for you. I joke around with it. I joke around with it. But I'm gonna do the best that I can, even if it's 5 or 6 people watching me, or there's 0 people watching me. It all depends. And if there's 0 people watching me, then I'll take note of it and be like, what can I do different? What can I advertise different to at least keep 1 viewer in the inbox, you know? Because even if you have 1 person, you know, watching you, they could, you know, tell their friends, and you get like a couple more that trickle in. But no, I don't get discouraged or anything. this is just something I love doing. So I'm just gonna stream and have fun. If people want to watch, then like so be it. I got a pretty stable job, so I'm just in it for the fun.
Crazy.
For me, I streamed on Twitch for so long with 0 viewers that the people in the chat is just a number to me. So sometimes I will look up and I'll be like, oh my gosh, where did all these people come from? But yeah, I try to keep it myself 100% all the time, and interact with chat whether there's somebody there or not. Because even if there's not somebody there in the live stream, somebody may come back and rewatch the stream and be a part of that stream after it was completed. So I do try to just keep it as interactive and stay positive no matter how many people are in there.
That's actually pretty funny that you just said that, Crazy, because your moderator just said the same thing.
That's why she's the best.
Yeah, she just said they might not be able to watch it at the moment, but want to watch it later, so you should have fun and do your thing with or without.
Also, that's what she said.
And that's why we are so good together, because we think the same.
Case,
as
Case, so you're one of the funnier on the side of the four of us. How do you consistently keep your bullshit? I mean, at the end of the day, it's bullshit. We all know. I mean, I bullshit myself to try to laugh sometimes, but how do you keep yourself motivated?
So that's one of the hardest parts. Like, there's days when I start streaming, I'm like, I don't really fucking want to be doing this. Like, not that I don't want to be doing it, but like, you just don't feel like you're having a good day or whatever's going on, especially going through like a divorce and all that stuff. It's like, there's so much stuff that's on your mind, and you just kind of have to flip a switch in one way or the other. Like, cool, it's fucking showtime, or we're about to do this. Okay, give me another one, and I'll open it for you. Gotta teach my son how to open oranges. You gotta flip a switch, and then like, just like, it's showtime. Like, it's time to make stuff happen. You just say the most ridiculous things, and growing up in like automotive for 10 years, like, you hear some of the most fucked up shit in the world, but a lot of it's funny as hell. Like, it's fucked up, but you laugh so hard at it, it's still fun. My whole house falling apart, I swear.
Did your kitchen just fall apart?
A little bit. I'm not sure what happened there. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you have to go in with the mindset of like, why am I doing this? Why do I like doing this? So for me, like, I created a whole character. Like, I love the amount of production and stuff that like you see Dr. Disrespect put into his streams is insane. And you see his streams now that he's swapped over to a new platform, he's easily getting like 60, 70, 80,000 views.
Insane. It's
like,
insane.
Insane. And people watch not because he's the absolute best player in the game, not because he has any like extremely high moral value or anything. He's just really entertaining. And it's like, if you go in with that mindset of, I'm going to entertain my stream right now, you're going to have a good time. Your stream's going to have a good time, and it's just going to be a lot of fun.
So that is, I know myself, and I know Crazy are members of Pipeline. I don't know if Queso and Young are you Queso?
Yeah, I am.
So in Pipeline, that's one of the key things that they've talked about is finding your niche. That is your niche. But I need to clarify something in chat right now. That is, I guess it's a big thing that everybody's not arguing but discussing right now. So Dustin, to your comment, Prime is not one of the people that'll sit there and talk and not want to play with the smaller streamers. I know he commented on there, but I know I've said it in my chat. I know Johnny Blaze has said it, and I've been able to give the info that Prime has given me, and same thing with Crazy. She's helped me as well. But Prime helps. He plays with the smaller streamers. He helps. He's the one who helped me when I first moved to my dual PC setup. So we'll get into the topic of our setups. I came from PS4. A lot of my followers know that I started on PS4. I moved to a dual PC setup, which was the biggest and most expensive step of my life. At the end of the day, I knew jack dilly shit about it. Yeah, my PC builder did fucking amazing on it, and I love him to death for it, but we were trying to figure out some things that none of us knew about it. And when I reached out to 3 or 4 other people, none of them responded, even opened my fucking message. But when I responded to Prime, it was like this, or when I messaged Prime, it was like that. Hey, try this, try that, blah blah blah. Which is why I support him. I became a supporter immediately, and I will support him because of that. And it's because of his big heart. Not everybody is the same. So Dustin, it's not. At the end of the day, yeah, we all stream for ourselves, to better our community, because we all have our own communities. But I think we all have a goal, and we all enjoy playing with other people and collaborating with other people as well. I mean, yes, I tag Young King when I go live with him. I tag Crazy. I tag, Queso when I go live with him. So it's a collaboration with other streamers. So yeah, my followers will be able to see, hey, he's playing with Young King. Let me go check out this page, and I'll direct them to them. Hey, go check out Crazy White Girl's page. I'm playing with her today. Let's do this. Let's do that. But it's not. It's also about building your soul and your own community. I mean, we're again. I ain't gonna say against each other, but we're all competitors in the same field per se, to a sense. But it's also a friendship. I think I've built thousands of friendships, or not thousands, hundreds of friendships through G.S.C, through playing with other people. And I consider Vincent or Prime. I consider him a friend to a sense because of everything he did for myself. Same thing with all you three as well. I have a simple setup, and we'll go through setups in a second. But I have a simple setup. I have a dual PC setup with 3 monitors, a Samsung QLED monitor. Does it help me advantage in the game? I think so. I'd like to hope so. I've got a cheap BM800 mic, a cheap monitor, Stream Deck, and other things. So is streaming cheap? Absolutely not. It gets expensive and more expensive by the day goes. And going to Taylor's comment, since COVID started or happened and came down, you have the buku's amount of other content creators that came out of the woodwork and think that they can do it. What do you think? How do you feel about since COVID came out? How do you feel about all the newer streamers that have came out and their content, in all honesty, is just not up to par? Let's go with Young.
So like with COVID, coming out and people thinking they can do it, you gotta start somewhere. And if COVID coming out made you notice, hey, I want to do this because you ain't got nothing else to do, hey, by all means, hey, go for it and do it. But streaming is not for everyone, and it's like you said prior, it's not 50,000 people aren't going to come overnight. That success is going to be a grind, whether it's a year down the road, 2 years, 3 years. You have to stay consistent with it. You can see the growth. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see instant success. You just want to see that growth over a period of time. You want to look at all the numbers, engagements, views, likes, your followers on your page. You want to see that go up and up and up and up. And if you're starting when, COVID just, came out, and you're just like, well, how do I do this? You'll figure it out once, you're going to go through because you got nothing else to do. But with COVID coming out and you say, oh, I'm going to stream because I don't have a job, that's kind of like iffy because, starting off, you're not going to be raking in dough like if you were to go work at like 7-Eleven or something like
McDonald's.
Walmart.
McDonald's. I mean, there's jobs.
Yeah,
there's jobs out there. There's jobs out there that people can get, but they want to take. I'm gonna say the easy way, but they want to take the way of work from home. Hey, I want to stream. I can play video games all day long. I see, and for lack of better people, I see Picnic doing it. I see him making X amount of dollars a month. I can fucking do it. And then they get discouraged because they don't make it. If you're in it, and I think all of us can agree, if you're in it for the money, back out.
Facts.
Because the money will come, yeah, of course, but you need to do it because this is a passion. You need to do it because this is what you love to do. This is what you enjoy doing. It's not. It should never ever be about the money. The money comes. All right, dude. There's like 4 people that have asked me already in both streams. What the fuck is that behind you? Yes.
This? Oh, okay. This is Sergeant Dickhead. My birthday was obviously last April. So these chevrons are of a sergeant that left. He did MSG. He's overseas now, and so I put this sergeant chevrons on it because he is a plush phallic object, as you can see.
Just to say what it is. He's a fucking penis.
It's a penis.
Just. I mean, we're all adults.
My buddies got it for me as a little prank joke, present for my birthday, and it's hilarious. So I just kind of put the chevrons on him, and now he's Sergeant Dickhead because it just fits.
Probably doesn't fit any place. Pretty large.
So, same question to Crazy.
Please repeat the question.
Oh, Jesus Lord, have mercy.
Sorry, we got off track with the dickhead. So,
what Tristan, appreciate that, brother. What are your suggestions? What do you feel? How do you feel about the COVID streamers? Because we've all seen it, on Twitch, especially with Mixer shutting down, on Facebook now, the flabbergasting amount of new streamers.
yeah, I mean, if it really is a passion of theirs, then by all means, freaking go for it. But we all know that the money isn't there to begin with, and it, by all means isn't going to pay any bills, especially when you first start out. So, if it's something they really want to do, then I support them wholly. But if it's something that they're doing just because they don't have anything else to do, and when the COVID has calmed down and they can go out about, if they're going to stop, then I feel like they shouldn't start to begin with.
So you being a female, and if don't take this. I know we've talked about this privately before, but how do you feel about the other female streamers that show either half their body or show a lot of cleavage or whatnot to gain followers, to gain supporters, to gain viewership? You're not one of those people, because or else I wouldn't play with you. But how do you feel about that aspect of it?
I don't like it. To be honest, 100%. I feel like you shouldn't be known for your assets, to say the least, in order to move up into the community. Because I feel like, just to say, like, not to say it so bluntly, but it's like you're prostituting yourself, basically. You're selling yourself for views or selling yourself for money, however you want to,
I agree, Mom.
say it. At the end of the day, that's basically what it is. They're selling their body parts in order to get themselves further.
Do you think, as a female, and I know Queso's going to have a different opinion to this, solely because of his stream picture, but do you think, as a female, you have an advantage in the gaming world? Not talking about gameplay, because of course I know your gameplay's there, but do you feel, as a female, you have an advantage in the streaming world?
I feel like, as a female, I have a disadvantage, because the people are expecting the girl that sells herself for views, the one that shows their body. So when you are not that streamer or not that person, I feel like it's at a disadvantage, because you're a girl, but people are expecting girls to be shitty at the game, or only to use their body to get forward. So when you're not that person, it's a lot harder for you to advance. So I feel like I have gotten my community, and my community has grown, but I feel like it hasn't grown as much as the girls that show themselves.
Queso?
So
I know you have a different point of view.
I don't know what you're talking about. So I mean, I see it where if someone is streaming and it's some hot chick, whatever, she's not gonna last for a long time. Like, she's gonna be it for a little bit. People are gonna get bored after a while, after she doesn't do things for them, after they give her money, and then her stream's gonna fall apart. I also see it as an opportunity for males because other guys are fucking thirsty as hell. Like, and I take advantage of it. So I'll show you guys like my. Can I share this? I think. Yeah. So like that. This is what I use for my thumbnail. Like that's my thumbnail. So many people get in there and like, oh, fucking clickbait it, but then they hang around for a little bit. I'm like, cool. And if I can convert them off of that, I'm not going anywhere. That picture is just some random chick I found online, threw my logos on. Like, if I can use that as an advantage to get people in there, I'll do it. I'll do it all day.
That's exactly the reason why I asked that question, because I've seen a little bit of growth from that picture.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because people think that girl that's showing cleavage, that girl with the rack on her to a sense, is the one streaming. But then they come in and they see it's Queso and they're like, well, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, and I've made other ones where I just put my face over her face, and it doesn't do too well, but it's pretty funny looking. And you know, some people like it, some people don't. It is what it is. I mean, if they come in there and they hang around after they see that and they know like that's not what I bring to the table, obviously, she don't like it, you know. But like if they stick around after they see that and they know like this obviously isn't me. I'm not some chick with tits. Like, cool. Then I've gained a viewer, and I've had people come because they see that, tell me it's clickbait, watch for a few minutes, and then hit a follow button, and then I see them back in the next stream. Like, cool. I'll just use that until it doesn't work anymore, and then I'll figure out what doesn't work. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to close that. And then I'll figure out like what doesn't work in the future, or what works in the future, and just is. Oh, on that one, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, the stream was great for that. Sure. And then like once that stops working, I'll figure out what is working next, and I'll go for that. But like the same thing happened on Twitch. There were hot chicks with tits all the time, and then they started going away. Like Twitch doesn't have a ton of those anymore. They're still there, but not as crazy as it used to be.
So let's touch back on topic of let's touch back on the topic of setups. So we all of us except for myself and Young are on different setups. So Queso, you're on a single PC setup. Young, you're on a dual PC, and Crazy, you're on a PS4 with a streaming PC. What roughly for a new streamer, you know, of course, don't give exact, but as for a new streamer, let's go for the PS4 side of it. What should a person expect? How much should a person expect in order to start off streaming or creating content on Facebook with a camera? How much should this person save up?
I mean, it depends on whether or not they have the console to begin with, but if they already have like basics, so if they have a okay laptop or a okay PC and a PlayStation, then probably $500 between capture card, monitor, mic, camera,
Action.
just for basic, yes. But if they don't have that, I think when I first started, of course, I already had the PlayStation. I played off of a 64-inch TV, so of course I couldn't stream off of that. So between my PC and capture card and monitors, it was a couple grand.
So on PS4 alone, you spent roughly about $2,000. So Young, you with on a dual PC setup, the more expensive side of it.
So, obviously, I have two PCs. One was my old gaming PC, which that whole setup was about. It was like $1,400 for the computer itself, and then probably another like $600-700 for everything else, like mouse, keyboard, solo monitor at the time, headset, all that. About $2,200 for that. Now with my gaming PC now, I spent about $2,500 on that one alone. So for my whole entire setup is about $4 to $5 grand, including the capture card, the extra RAM that I got for my streaming PC, and just like
my Audio Technica microphone, my Astros. So yeah, around ballpark 4 to 5 grand for my setup alone.
Okay, so if we go from 2,000 to roughly about 5,000, what are we looking at in a single PC setup?
So single PC, the biggest thing is you need a really good processor that can handle doing the stream and the game at the same time, and then you need a really good graphics card because it's going to take both of those. So between the graphics card and the processor I have, I'm probably at like 1,500 maybe. And then the case doesn't really fucking matter. Like the case, the motherboard, all the other, like everything on top of that's not a huge deal. And then two monitors, like my monitors are like Dell 60 hertz monitors, trash, but they work. And then lights. I use a digital camera for a webcam for my main camera, and then I have another side cam that I just use. But I started off with the normal like Logitech, was it 2300 or HD Pro, whatever. Like that was my webcam for the longest time. So starting up, if you want to do it on a single PC, and little side note, this is mainly for Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty is a fucking hog for PC performance. It's ridiculous. Because I was playing Fortnite on the PC that I got before this for like $600, and it was fine. And then Call of Duty, like it was so sketchy. So if you want to play like a AAA title, a huge game, probably anywhere from 15 to 2,000 or so would be like the lower line for a single PC.
I think you have something to add there, Crazy, because I see your hand moving. No? Okay. I thought you were trying to mute yourself and about to say something.
No, I have my hand on my stream deck.
So you've
I
got
just fiddle.
you've got everywhere from $2,000 to upwards of 5,000, give or take, six, let's say, for dual PC, so the bigger setups, and that doesn't include the money that you spend on getting logos made, the money that you spend on advertising, doesn't include the money that you spend on upgrades, correct, exact upgrades. My original scuff, everybody knows it, to the aim controller I've got now. Look at you. There, yeah, exactly. That was gonna be my next question to Young and K. So y'all two are both on keyboard and mouse. How much would a person that wants to switch to keyboard and mouse for a decent set? How much does one look for, or how much?
How long do the keyboards last?
Yeah.
So depends on how aggressive you are with your keyboard. My keyboard has lasted. I've had it for a year, and it's been fine the whole time. And it was $70 maybe. My mouse is just a Logitech G503 something. Yeah, 502. And it's been, the mouse has had more issues than the keyboard. But other than that, like I just take it apart and fix some shit, and it's fine. But that was like $50, and it's been fine ever since.
Yeah.
But how many people know how to take it apart and fix some shit?
I do.
I didn't know how. I just kind of did it.
So you've gone through about a year. I know my scuff.
Yeah.
My scuff used to last me about 2 months, give or take, before I had to replace the joysticks because I would wear them out. Actually, you can see now. I don't know if you can see it on this one. Yeah, you can see it. You see how uneven it is right there? Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. So it's a consistent battle. So you've got the concave ones. I didn't get the concave ones.
Oh, she got another one.
I got them heightened sticks.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit.
Exactly. Oh dear God.
The
I can't play with the heightened ones. But see.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any with the scuff. They go bad because this one I had for about 5 months before I started spinning, and then I got it fixed, and then about 2 months later I started doing the same thing, and now I got this one and the same thing's happening, and I only got it a couple months ago.
So I've got the aim, which you can see I've had this one 3-4 months now, and not you can't even tell where on it. But my typical problem, same thing I had with the scuff, was my left joystick. I'm hard on my left joystick with Call of Duty because of the sprinting. Now it doesn't want to run.
It's my left too.
Yeah.
My left on both.
We're hard on them. So I would say on controller wise, and I think would you agree with me? Crazy 3-4 months. Usually you have to replace them, give or take.
Yeah, and I got a standard PlayStation controller with a freak as a backup, just in case something happens to my scuff. I got it. I got a backup.
So my question would be on mouse and keyboard. Why can't I just use a regular keyboard if I want to switch to mouse and keyboard?
You can
What's the difference? Why would I want to spend $70?
for like a mechanical. Well, mine was $70 because it's full RGB like mechanical keyboard. Like it's a good keyboard, like metal body and everything. You can play with a normal keyboard just fine. I mean, it's all down to like how you feel or how you like stuff sounding. They make some that have louder switches, so like mine, like that's how my keyboard sounds normally. I have another one that's way fucking louder that I swapped. But I hated how loud it was. And
Chad, if y'all have questions, go ahead and enter.
Get
Go
out.
ahead and enter the questions. If y'all have questions, go ahead and enter questions in chat. We'll start getting into some questions here pretty shortly.
so this is my other one, which is like an HP Omen keyboard, and it's just so loud. Like every
That's
time
a
I was
lot
streaming,
louder.
you would hear keyboard over everything. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. So I made the switch to have a
Hey,
quieter
no,
keyboard
no,
that's still
no.
mechanical, and that's about how it costs. So
Yeah, I don't think mine's that loud. Hold on. Yeah, you can't even hear mine.
I don't
yeah,
know.
that thing's fucking noisy.
Can you hear mine?
Yeah.
That's the Cyber Power PC keyboard.
So I've seen online the little small keyboards. I guess they're like the pads. Would that
Yeah,
make a difference?
Yeah, so I really want to get one of the small pad ones that are just for the keys that you normally use. Let's see if I can pick this up and show you. Okay, so this is how big. This is my keyboard. This is the size of it, about say maybe a foot and 4 inches maybe. So right here on this keyboard, I don't need these numbers over here. I don't need this. I could literally, actually, I could cut it off right here. I literally just need the keys that are on this side right here. And I found out that, so you can play straight on like this, right? WASD, doing all your stuff, right? I found out that a lot of streamers turn it like this or have it angled. I don't know what makes you play better or do better things when it's angled like that. I don't know if it's like ergonomics or the way your arm is just sitting, but I have tilted it, and for some reason my gameplay is better. So having that smaller keyboard, you can manipulate it and move it to where it's more comfortable instead of like straight on, because straight on kind of puts a little more strain on the wrist.
Do you have anything to add to that, Kesa?
No, I mean a lot of that. I think a lot of the keyboard tilting came from necessity. So like, if you ever watched Tifu's old stream, like a long time ago, he talked about why he tilts his keyboard, and he only had like so much room for his mouse and like movement and stuff. So he tilted his keyboard sideways. No, this is actually what happened, dude. You're like 4, you don't know, but he tilted his keyboard sideways so he had more room for his mouse, and then other people started doing that.
All right, so we're gonna open up the chat for questions. So now, at the moment, if y'all have any questions, I know Justin just put one in there. If y'all have any questions, please throw them in the chat. We'll ask the fellow streamers. We'll ask the fellow content creators to see what they say. The first question that we have on here: what is the hardest part about starting to stream? Let's go with Crazy.
Hardest part is hitting the live button. You know, getting yourself ready, like preparing to stream. You know, it's a big step, and you don't know how, or you know, how it's gonna how the reactions are gonna be, whether anybody's gonna like you or want to watch you to begin with. So I think the hardest part is, you know, getting the courage to even do it.
How did you get set up? How did you? Of course, you know, a lot of us. I know I can speak for myself. I've watched a crap ton of YouTube videos, a crap ton of Google searching and all that. How did you get it set up to where you're at the point that you're at now with your audio, with everything like that?
A lot of research. I started off on the PlayStation just using the share live button on Twitch. No camera, nothing. But as I started getting followers and people, oh, why don't you get a camera? Why don't you get a camera? I started researching, what I would need in order to do so. So I needed to get either the webcam for the PlayStation, or if I wanted a better streaming, like an overlay or anything, I had to get a PC in order to do that. So I decided to make that investment and get the camera and the PC all at once, to do that. But I did have to do a lot of research, ask questions from other streamers, what kind of mics they're using, things like that, in order to get to where I'm at.
Young, same question.
Oh yeah, so definitely like first starting out, definitely figuring out how to actually do a stream and have it run successfully and not just, hey, I'm going to send it, right? And then all of a sudden your stream's lagging, and because you don't have the right settings, you don't have the right bit rate, your audio, you're saying something right now and they hear it 5 seconds after you say it. So you're saying different words in your mouth. It's like a Japanese film. It's just things aren't adding up. Yeah, getting the right settings down, and like what Crazy said with hitting the go live button. When I first started, like I used to get stage fright. Like anytime even if I'm going up against, like, I have to do a presentation, 20 plus people, 100 plus people, like, nerves and stage fright. It's like I click that go live button. It's like I'm on the stage and I'm like, oh wow, I get butterflies in my stomach, But it's like just hitting it and then getting in the groove. Once you get in the groove with it, it's just like it's like every day, like it's like waking up, brushing your teeth, like taking a shower, eating, and then doing your day. It's just so much easier once you get into the
Becomes your
rhythm.
normal.
Yeah, it becomes your norm, and you're like, wow. And then if it takes off, if it doesn't take off, it is what it is.
Okay, so what is the hardest part about starting to stream?
Here, that comes at my door.
Pizza? She's getting our pizza.
Camera.
Oh. So the hardest part about just starting, like, from the very beginning, like never streamed before to starting streaming?
Correct. Basically, what's the hardest part to starting to stream?
Yeah, like everyone else said, getting the technicals right, like making sure you have all the things set up, the right bit rate, like making sure your computer can handle everything that it's doing. Because you're going in, you're seeing these streamers with these awesome streams, like you're seeing everything going on. You're like, I want to do that, and then you try and start it, and it looks nothing like that. And you're trying to figure out, like, what are they doing different? What can I change? What am I not doing right? And that's the hardest part of just like technically getting going. As far as like getting going, no, you can't put that in your mouth. Here, put this in your mouth. As far as getting going, like,
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like going on stream and getting going is like personality wise, because you watch all these streamers, they have something going, they're entertaining, you like to watch them, and then you think you could do the same thing, so you just start streaming and you don't get the same feedback, you don't get people following you every day, you don't get everything, and it's just, are you doing something that's entertaining? And I'm not saying like not everybody, there are people who just flat out are not entertaining at all, like they'll just sit there, not talk,
yeah, you
play
see
the game. Oh, all the time. I'm like, cool, that's my competition, like, cool. But like, you'll watch your first streams, like I'll go back to my very first streams, and I did that shit for like 20-30 minutes at a time, and you just don't realize it. You don't realize how much you have to talk or how much you have to engage even when there's nobody in there, and it's just something you get better with over time. So if you get frustrated right away and quit, you're never gonna succeed anyways. So
do y'all raid other streamers? Is a question.
Every night I raid somebody.
when I have a decent amount of viewers, when I stop streaming, I will. But if I have like 2 or 3, usually not.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. By the end of my stream, I got about big old zero. So, yeah, because most of the time, like, I'm ending my stream at 10, 11 o'clock at night. People on the East Coast, they're snoozing. People on the West Coast are getting ready for bed. So,
I should have been
if
should be
I
snoozing.
yeah, if I have people in there, then yeah, I'll go send them. Like I did that when I was on Twitch. Um, I'm gotta figure out how to do it for Facebook. I'm not gonna lie, I have no clue how to do it.
Do you?
When you hit in stream, it should pop up.
Yeah, it's weird because on like Twitch, it'll bring you to the stream too, so you can see the reaction, which I think is one of the coolest parts about rating people. But on Facebook, you have to like find their page, view it, and then go to your thing, end it, send them over there, and then go back. It's strange. It doesn't just like automatically pop up their stream.
So a lot of I found crazy by rating her one night. But is there a certain formula or is there a certain way, Queso and Crazy, that y'all look at before y'all rate somebody?
I just hit the end button and I see who's on that front screen. I try to go for the littler guys because I feel like it makes a bigger impact on them than the bigger guy. So I try to, try to make a big impact on somebody that is a smaller person or a smaller streamer like myself, rather than trying to raid the bigger guy that's I rated a bigger streamer and I went into their stream and they didn't even acknowledge that it even existed. So
I've had that happen.
and it wasn't like a 1 or 2 viewer raid. I mean, I had viewers in there. So, why do that and not even give them an acknowledgement when you can make somebody's day by giving them a raid with views.
How do y'all feel? How do y'all feel about the? What was your feeling about your first raid? And I'm not talking about this. And young, this might be a little bit early for you because you're newer on Facebook to a sense. But your first bigger raid, how did you feel? What was your
I
feeling?
almost crapped my pants. I got raided by Kingslayer, not once, but twice. And I almost died. And it was before I even had like 500 followers. It was when I was playing Fortnite, and I almost died. Like I didn't know how to react. My stream went crazy, like likes and follows, and it was just insane. Like I almost passed out. No joke.
Queso, have you or no?
I've yet to get like a big raid like that. Usually I'll get like 4, 5, 6 viewer raids, but I've never gotten like a big like 200-300 follower raid or anything like that. But
Yeah, the first one was
yeah.
like 980, and the other one was like 1100.
Oh my god!
I almost crapped my pants. Guys.
I got rated. I got rated.
I just let it out full glow.
Oh no, dude. I was long story short, when I got rated by Yusuf, I was in a discussion with baby mama and my daughter, and so I had my stream mic muted and I had my game mic muted.
Oh no!
And when I unmute it and I look over and I just see my chat going crazy, I'm like I could do.
Really did like.
Holy
you
shit!
Have that video somewhere. I thought you're just like. It's pretty funny.
I had to.
I really wish Facebook would have a raid notification though. I feel like
it does.
That other than the alert on your thing, like you get a pop up or a notification on your stream when somebody follows you or likes you, but not when somebody raids you.
Are you talking about on Streamlabs or are you talking about on Facebook? See
on Streamlabs.
Streamlabs is a different that would be Streamlabs to bring that up. It's a different platform. It's a third party platform, so that's the reason why it's not I don't think it'd be an option to a sense.
Well, is it? I mean, other than Streamlabs, is it a feature on any other?
You're on OBS. Okay, so is that feature? Can you see that on OBS or no?
I'm on OBS. It's not.
You're not on Streamlabs.
I don't see it on
Streamlabs.
Streamlabs OBS.
No, OBS is different than Streamlabs.
Oh.
So I'm on just straight Streamlabs, which if you guys have the time to like reset up your whole stream, I recommend it, just because there's a lot of other things you can do with OBS that you can't do on Streamlabs just by plugins.
But it's more.
I
it's
don't
more,
see
it's
notifications
more
from raids. It is. It's once you get it going, it's exactly the same. It's just setting it up is a little bit more difficult. But it's a lot easier on my PC. I don't know. But as far as getting like notifications for raids, I don't think I get any. But then again, I rarely get raided, so I
But
probably.
do you see the normal? Do you see the normal notifications like you do on Streamlabs, or did on Streamlabs?
So you can get a plugin that makes it look exactly like Streamlabs.
Okay.
So like you guys keep talking. I'll pull mine up so like, you guys can see what it looks like. Wait a second now. Okay.
Ooh. Is that the
Why did it
that's
not
the
pop up?
that's the 920
Oh,
or 930? Chat again. If y'all have any other questions, come up, bring them up, bring them up.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that. Did that pop up
Yeah.
on the screen? Or did that just...
I see.
Oh, okay. It's showing up weird. Let me move it and see if I can... Because it's showing my Discord.
Yeah, I see Discord right now. I was watching. I saw OBS a minute ago.
Is it showing like my overlay screen? Hold up. Why is it doing that? I thought I could show my whole screen, but it's just showing like my... Let me stop streaming this and see if I can do the correct one. There we go. There we go. I think it's doing the same thing again. Yeah, it's just showing my live stream. So there's my live screen, which is super weird. I'm trying to show like what it looks like in OBS, but you can do the exact same thing that you can do with Streamlabs. It's just a different program. I mean, it's just Streamlabs is OBS, but it has a plugin on it. It has the Streamlabs plugin on OBS, so it makes it work with Streamlabs. You can do the same thing with Stream Elements or any other notification platform that works for you.
Gotcha. You're on Streamlabs, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, as a new streamer, as a new content creator, somebody looking into getting streaming, would you recommend, or do you have the pro version?
Oh, so you're talking about like the Streamlabs like premium or whatever.
Correct.
So at one point in time, yes, I did have the premium version to the Streamlabs, but I was not utilizing what the premium got for me, so there was no bother of getting the premium. So I was in Streamlabs before they came out with this premium thing. You could just get everything, right? And now they put this premium thing, and I'm like, oh, what's this? I'll get it for a month. Let's see what happens. I was like, I didn't use a single thing for the premium. There was no need for me. It was a waste of money, in my opinion. But-
Agreed. I was the same way. I did the premium and didn't use anything for it, so I was just paying for nothing.
So in the premium, I think the main thing that people use it for is, or like I did the premium for a year. Yeah, Tis got me. I'm sorry. Whatever. I didn't know. I was a new guy. I had the money. I spent it. Whatever. But I did it for the layouts. At that point in time, I didn't know I didn't know anything about I could spend that much money and get the custom layouts. I know Crazy has a fire fucking layout that she's had made. And I know Queso has his own custom attraction with cows.
My layout is all myself. It's not even custom.
Yeah, the cow's pretty sick.
Your intro
What?
your intro is
Oh, the intro's made.
yeah. But Queso made his own layouts with the cows and the guys at the Mexican
It's
store
on
and
a
all
farm,
that.
Queso farm.
So, that's that I will say is the difference from Streamlabs to OBS. I know we can't do that on Streamlabs from what you're doing on OBS with the scenes from the cows and the store. They got the store unless I do a separate picture.
Yeah, so I have 3, 6, 9. I have like 12 scenes that I just cycle through. And I forgot to mention earlier. You guys were talking about the keyboards and stuff, like having a smaller keyboard. I have a long keyboard, and I use the other half, like all the numbers on the numpad and everything, for scene transition. So I just hit a button and it switches to a scene, almost like having a Stream Deck, but I don't want to pay $300 for a Stream Deck, So that's what I use those for, and that's how I transition from scene to scene and Like I can activate sound effects and stuff from different keys on different scenes. It's super helpful, but I just have to label everything so I know what the fuck I'm pushing.
I got the mini. It was $150.
So yeah. You guys.
I mean, it's not
Yeah, so
it's not 300. It was like 300. It was like $150.
Hey, well,
I think mine was like 180 on mine.
I actually
Nice.
talking about funny things or talking about equipment. I actually won Prime's raffle for the Go XR, Go
I saw
XLR.
that. That thing is sick.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm still waiting on it, but I'm ready to unravel it and play with it a little bit. Do y'all have anything to add? Chad, I guess, has gone silent on me. So do y'all have anything to add to on life of a new streamer? What are your difficulties? What are your hardships?
All right.
I think just
Go.
I mean, honestly, just don't get down on yourself. Don't get discouraged. Hey, you might stream to 0 viewers for 3 weeks. That's perfectly okay. You're starting off. You're not gonna be like a Tfue. You're not gonna be like Stone Mountain where they click go live and they're just chatting and they got like 40K people watching. You know, you gotta build it up. Start from the ground up. This isn't like hey, Drake said it best. Hey, started from the bottom, now we're here. That's kind of level you gotta be on it. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta stay in the
start,
space
you're
voice.
not starting at the top. Yep. You gotta stay in the. You gotta start from the bottom. You gotta work your way up. You know, just you see the growth. Just look at the numbers and see the growth. That's where you wanna. That's where you wanna smile. You know, not when you go live. You know, viewers will come, maybe not. But seeing the growth with the followers going up. If someone sees you and they see that you have 5,000 to 6,000 followers, it's like, oh, okay, well, people actually follow me. You know, maybe funny, good at the game or whatnot.
doing something right.
He's doing something right. But you look at somebody that's just starting off, like 200 followers. Not a lot of people are going to may or may not click on that. You might get a big raid like crazy. She got a big raid. Boom. You might get that. You might get lucky. You might freaking cast one out and reel it in. You know what I'm saying? Or you get skipped over because you're just like that little nobody. But once you start getting those followers, you see the numbers going up. Look at that. Don't look at the live stream numbers. Just look at behind the scenes numbers that nobody else is gonna see.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he basically said it. I mean, just everybody starts with one follower. I mean, everybody starts at 0. So I mean, it's just like you said, the growth, just grinding and putting in the time to get your stream going, and like you said, the little guy is always one that's overlooked, and I feel like when I hit that 1,000 follower mark, my stream just went off. Like that's where it started to just go straight up, is when I hit that 1,000 followers. But that first 1,000 was the hardest grind that I have ever done. I never even made it on Twitch to the 1,000. So I mean, it's rough.
Do you have any?
I'll agree with that because like my first 1,000 took a year or so to hit, and then after that, I'm already at 1,730 something. Like I got 700 followers in a couple months versus 1,000 in a year, which is just a huge change. And I'm sure as you grow more and more, that's just going to keep exponentially growing with that until you hit a certain level.
I think I hit my first 1,000 at the end of June, and then 1,700, almost 1,800 to today.
It's crazy. And a lot of that has to do with like Facebook's algorithms and how they send out your stream to other people. Because you'll be watching videos and then you see a streamer pop up. Like that's Facebook just doing it automatically because they think people will enjoy watching this streamer. And that's their goal, is to keep people on Facebook. So they have more people watching you, people stay on the platform, Facebook makes more money. Like that's the way Facebook does things. As far as like you're growing a social media following, so don't stop it on just your stream. After your stream's over, make content, make pictures, share funny memes in groups. I've found a huge growing just by doing that. But make content outside for YouTube, for TikTok, for Instagram. like everything. Spread it out, because the more you put your stuff out there, the more chances you'll have of other people seeing your stream and like wanting to check you out, or Facebook seeing that they saw your Instagram and then you're streaming the next time and it's like, cool, you saw this person on Instagram, let's show you on Facebook, because like that's just the way they do things, and it's a huge help.
Anything else, anybody? Just before we close it out. Good. Okay. All right, Chad. If that's it, there's no more questions to ask these nice streamers. We want to thank Crazy Girl Gaming, White Queso, and Young King again, and myself, Mr. Funky Monkey Gaming. If you have not looked us up or followed us on Facebook, make sure you check us out. We thank y'all for coming in, spending your time with us on this Sunday afternoon. And I hope this podcast has helped inform as many people as it can. So with that being said,
And I wish everybody the best of luck on their streaming.
Exactly. We wish everybody the best of luck. We know how hard it is. We know how the difficulties of starting off a stream and starting off to create content is, and the struggles of it. You know, we're constantly doing it every day. So just keep up the grind. With that being said, I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, Young. Thank you, Crazy. Thank you, Queso. And we'll see y'all on the next one.
Peace and love, baby. Peace and love.